Hey there, welcome to day 128 of playing chess until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1304 after a win in our last game, and let's go ahead and jump into another 15-minute rapid game here today. Okay, we got white. We'll see if we get our Jobava London. We're up against a 1231 it looks like. Right, knight c3. Okay, he goes for c6 right away. Let's get the bishop out. This prevents any knight b5 from happening. Okay, he just closes everything off. Interesting. What do we play here? I think that I might have seen that like e4 is good against this. You just play e4 right away. Take here. This is covered. I think that e4 is good, but I don't know for sure. I could be misremembering that because I was looking at a lot of the different variations for the Jobava London, and I think that against this one that you play e4. So let's. I just don't know how to follow up with it. Otherwise, I just play e3 and go for a very standard kind of setup. Let's just... Actually, if I go e4, is there a problem if he takes, I take, he goes check? Now I can just hop back. I think we're totally fine. Okay, I'm just going to play e4. I might be misremembering this, so maybe this is totally wrong. But I'm just trying to go based on the little bit of opening theory that I have learned. But this was kind of a foggy one. I don't really remember too clearly what you're supposed to do here. Some of the more common variations, I went pretty far down some of the lines, but I haven't actually faced them that much, even though they are the statistically more common ones. It seems like people a lot of times try to play really abnormal stuff. Okay, capture. So if I capture, he takes with the queen. He's hitting the bishop right away. Bishop probably just drops back to here. He does have check, but I blocked there. Otherwise, maybe I just bring the bishop here and let him take. But yeah, let's just, no, because this allows him to take here. Yeah, don't think we want that. Unless, no, it's not a discovered attack on the queen because the queen can just take the knight back there if he captures here. So I'm thinking I probably do just take, actually. Either that or this, and then if he captures, we take with the pawn, but then the knight and the bishop are both kind of cutting each other off. So, alright, I think I'm just going to capture. Capture, his queen can come out, and then we look to support the bishop. Probably by bringing it back. Yeah, I'm thinking just bringing it back. It's going to be the way to go. And then I can play knight f3. This bishop can go wherever it wants. This is being hit. There's this check. This knight can't attack the pawn. Okay. Let's just bring it back. And then just go for pretty normal development with knight f3, probably bishop d3, c3 to secure our center here. Could also play queen f3 and try to look for a queen trade. I'm threatening to capture and give him kind of bad pawns here. Okay, no, he'll just defend it with the bishop, so. Preparing to castle right away. Let's go ahead and play knight f3 first. Just get the minor pieces all out. I might go back to look at this if e4 was the right move for this and like what the follow-up is supposed to be, because I don't really have any sense of what you're supposed to do to follow up with that. But I mean, the position seems fine, but I don't have an advantage. I don't think I have like much of an advantage. Maybe I have a little bit of an advantage since I have more of the center. Okay, let's go ahead and just support the pawn, I think. I could also play c4 and try to take more of the center, but it becomes a little hard to then guard the d4 pawn, so... Or at least it could be down the line. And I also like that this d4 pawn is restricting his knight's movement a little bit. So yeah, let's just solidify our center here. Okay, maybe he wants to go here. Maybe his bishop comes... No, I can't come over there because mine is guarding. If he does push here... I do have plenty of defenders here. But if he does take with a pawn... I don't want to get an isolated pawn, so I might need to take, actually. I could play b4. Gives me a little bit of weakness. Okay, sorry, I had to do something for a second. Where were we at here? Oh yeah, I was thinking of playing b4. b4 does create a weakness on c3, but it's a little hard for him to target. If he does push this pawn, we do have a lot of defenders. b4, or I just go bishop d3 and then take here. I think I'd rather maybe just go for development, actually. Not worry. I don't think this is a big deal. Yeah, let's just develop bishop d3 here. I kind of ate through some of my time already, since I just had to go, and I was already thinking for a while for some of the moves. So we can try to speed it up a little bit. Probably just castle kingside. Just keep things simple here. Maybe just play for the end game since... Okay, he's playing h3. I guess he doesn't want... Or not h3, h6. I guess he doesn't want bishop or knight coming here. Here, that doesn't really hit anything. So again, I have b4 as a possibility. Does give me weird pawn structure though. I think I'll probably still avoid that. Let's just castle. And let's just put the rook here on a semi-open file. Could also try to drop the bishop back, swing the queen up, and then try to create some kind of checkmate threat. He pushes this pawn. Does have two attackers here. Could go here, just immediately pin the pawn. He doesn't have a way to attack the bishop, does he? Can't go here. Yeah, I think I like this actually. And I can use the queen to support the bishop as well, if needed. Okay, pawn's pinned to the bishop. We kind of protect this diagonal, which he wants to open up. Okay, he can still push and then we'll take and trade, but then I think that's totally good for us. I can also go here and hit his pawn right away. Guess he'll probably push it. Probably will push it all the way here. But then we have two attackers on this, so then I could take... Okay, I think I'm going to just go for that right away. Push, take, take. He will be defending the pawn after the rook takes. I think I like it anyway. Otherwise I go b4 or something like that. Okay, I'm just going to go there and hit the pawn. If he goes like this, I could just take it. If he goes here, I can take that. So we're hitting this pawn twice. and I'm hitting this pawn once. And figure out, okay, so he does push the pawn once, but then I can take here, I think. Wait, no. Because then he can play here. So if I capture, he pushes the pawn. The bishop and the queen are both under threat, and I can't move to where I can protect the bishop. So I don't think that that is going to be an option, actually. Could go here, maybe. No, I don't know. Not sure if that makes sense. I could go here. No, still doesn't work. I could go here just to hit this pawn, but it is guarded by this. I'm not sure. I don't really have a great idea there. Could go here so that if he pushes, I take something like that. Would like to create another open file. Maybe knight here and knight here. Try to attack something on this side. Okay, I think I want to move the knight. We'll wait on moving the bishop or the queen. Okay, so he wanted to hit that anyway, and then we're simply gonna drop back, I think. So I go here, here. Could go here and try to come in on the dark squares. Or I go all the way back or here. Here. It's always tricky figuring out where to place the queen. Here he's able to attack like that, so. Probably just here and just keep the bishop more supported. This diagonal doesn't seem all that useful. I think maybe I should move my dark square bishop and then try to lift the rook up here. That seems like a nice idea if I could find a good place for the dark square bishop. Currently, it doesn't really have anywhere it can go. Where would I want to put it? It would be nice on this diagonal, but I'd have to go here and then here, actually. It'd be hitting the rook. Yeah, that would be good if I could get it there. Okay, his knight's rerouting. Here I just trade it, weakens his pawns. Here, it kind of just closes things down a little bit. He will be hitting the bishop. Could play here and then here. I actually kind of like that, because it gives a nice little pathway for my bishop to reroute. I could also immediately go here, here to hit his bishop, and the pawn. Here, here, here. Here, here, here. Yeah, I do kind of like that, I think, but I think I'm going to play here, because I do want this bishop to reroute. Okay, he immediately is going to hit that, so it's a little bit trickier to reroute it now. So let's go for... Must be some kind of pawn break. You know what? Yeah, let's go for this. Actually, no, the knight can take... Let's go for a pawn break here, like here, here. Or just knight here first. Okay, I think knight there first. Although the knight is pretty far on the edge if we do that, but if he opens this up, trying to hit this, he's able to move. Take. Alright, I'm just going to go here. And then maybe try to go for a pawn break soon. Okay, he brings his knight on in. Now I'm gonna probably drop the bishop back one. Actually, his knight does guard this, so actually that kind of prevents me from going where I wanted to go. I could go here, take that, but yeah, let's just move the bishop back first. And I'm not sure what he's going to go for next. The position is still pretty closed down. There's no fully open files. We have these two half open files. Maybe I should have my rook on the other half open file and then try to open it up. Or just go for here. Okay, he's pinning this pawn. He probably wants to go here to threaten checkmate, something like that. Maybe he also wants to come into here. I could go here to guard this. If he comes into here, or just king over. King over. If he does attack this way, I can guard with the bishop, and then the king should be safe with the bishop there. But I think I do have to kind of be careful about the knight. It hits the queen, but does it hit anything else? I don't think so. If the knight does hop in. The bishop... Actually, no, I could just take it if he hops in there right now. So, okay, I think I'm just going to go king over, prevent the pin from happening. But the knight can still hop here, but not here. And if it hops there, then I can actually fork the knight and the queen, I think. Okay, I'm going to go over one square. Okay, so he's threatening mate. We're going to drop the bishop back. Here's what I was planning to do. Just think if there's anything else. Yeah, no, I think just bishop back is going to be the way to go. And that feels pretty safe with the bishop there. Also, is there almost a way to trap the queen? No, it definitely has a handful of squares, but these squares, a lot of these squares on this are cut off, and then this is cut off, so it feels like it's not too far away from being trapped, but I don't think it's going to happen unless, maybe if the knight were somewhere over here, it could take some of the squares away. Okay, queen moves again. This is not going to be an option. I think I can't hop knight back, actually. Could just go here. If he wants to take, I take, and then support the pawn, and then take the open file. Try to take the open file. Knight coming in here is not a threat. Otherwise, I just play for the pawn break right away. Take, get the open file here. Can't come down right away. I think I will just hop the knight into here if he wants to take that to double the pawns. I think we're fine with that, and we'll try to take the file. Otherwise, I might push the pawn to kick his knight on the next move, potentially. So if he doesn't take here, probably will just take his bishop. Yeah, he takes. Oh yeah, and I was also threatening this fork as well. Okay. Oh, actually, I forgot that the queen can take. No, it can't. Never mind. The bishop is guarding, so queen cannot take back. For a second, I thought I messed up there. We do also lock his bishop off behind this pawn now, so my bishop remains a little bit more active, and his is kind of doing nothing for now. Okay, yeah, I did think he might try to kick my bishop at some point with that. So I think just back here is the only move unless... Yeah, no, there's nothing besides that. And maybe I would end up just taking his knight, actually. Because his knight's pretty threatening here. Could do something at some point. So if I take this, gets pretty bad pawns. They can become targets. I guess I can't support my pawn though, because his could take en passant. But maybe I could go here right away to hit this. You might have to defend with the queen. Like here, I could probably attack with the bishop or something. The pawn, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll probably plan to take here. Taking, maybe kicking the knight if I decide not to take, and then maybe going for a pawn break, possibly on the a-file. I also do have a pretty nice square here for the bishop, now that there's not this threat anymore. Yeah, I could take, double his pawns, put the bishop here. Maybe he pushes this. But I have two defenders there. Alright, yeah, I think I'll just take. And then we both have one bishop. Okay. Now, do I attack the pawn right away? This seems pretty cut off. He is able to guard it. I don't think I attack it that way. I think maybe, oh, maybe I attack it this way. We're not quite threatening this because we don't want to give up our queen. I think I'm just going to go here first. Put the bishop on a nice square. We control this. And then maybe try to double the rooks and continue attacking here. And meanwhile, his light square bishop is still pretty useless. I guess it might come here defensively, but then I could target these pawns that it starts to neglect. Okay, probably just go here. Hit the queen. Where does the queen go? This is cut off, this is cut off. Queen's gonna be looking... Ooh, queen can almost... No, he can go back. Yeah, he's not getting trapped, but... Yeah, that seems like a weird move for him. And this also gives me tempo to double the rooks here. I think I quite like this. Okay, he uses his rook. Yeah, I guess I didn't consider that. I probably will still just double. Take, take. Yeah, let's just double. Okay. Right back to taking here. Now, I just see a lot of potential pawns to target. This can be targeted, this can be targeted, all three of these can be targeted. Double up and attack this. Just have to watch for threats of back rank here, although with the rook here, I guess there isn't a threat of back rank. If I double up here, we do pressure this pawn, or double up here. Actually, yeah, doubling up here is good because it immediately attacks this guy, which he can't defend now. I think I can just win that pawn on the next move that I have, probably. So yeah, we'll just target the weaknesses and try to play for a solid endgame here. He's using up some time now. I got pretty low on my time, but I think I more or less know how I want to continue from here. Okay, he goes to defending, attacking this pawn, but he doesn't have a way to double attack that. I'm going to simply go here, attack this pawn. That's guarded. This pawn is pinned and double attacked. Okay, he defends it, but I'm going to take here. And then we're maybe able to come here and attack this one. Maybe just attack this one, although he'll probably guard it like that. Yeah, let's just take here for now. Maybe I could, if I could get the queen somewhere over here as well, and then you move the rook, then we would have a threat of, almost a threat of mate if the queen, if his queen were not guarding, so could be something there. Alright, his queen moves. Go here and attack. He is able to defend like this, but then I take this one. You have to be careful about any kind of attack he can create. Attacking this pawn is not going to quite work. I'm not going to be able to win it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go here for now. Go attack this one. And then maybe I'll... Okay, he does just go back. I guess that makes sense to just go back. Could try to come in on these squares. Or try to push and go for some type of pawn break. But then I can't as much attack his weaknesses. Do I try to get the king in? Do I try to use this bishop to attack this? Actually, let's use rook and queen to try to attack this one. Maybe force him to play something like this. And then try to create a checkmate threat back here. Here we double attack. He just would repeat moves. Don't think we want to do anything like that now. Here we're attacking this. Okay, I have to play quickly. I'm just gonna go back for now. Yeah, let's try to make good time here. Attack this. Go here. Okay, he's trying to just like repeat. Let's just go here. Here, if I could get the bishop to where it could attack that. Oh, you know what? Maybe I would play here. This seems like it could be good, because then I can route the bishop back this way. Okay. Maybe threatening, he's threatening back rank there, almost. Let's just go here and double attack. And now he actually blocked in his pawn from defending, so this one can defend, but then I take it. Yeah, so that defends, but I simply take it, I think. Take, take, take. Okay, but then he has back rank, I think. If he trades the rook. Wait, take, take, take. Wait, no, never mind, because I can drop the rook back still. If I go take, he goes take, take. If I take with the rook, then I could be in trouble. But I think if I take, like, with the bishop, I think it's okay. Yeah, taking with the bishop is okay, because he can't... He would have to sack... Oh wait, no, never mind, because... No, his bishop doesn't guard, yeah. Okay, I think I can take like this. Oh, I didn't consider that, actually. But I think I can just take here and move. But then he takes this, but then I... Maybe he can get check. Check there. Also, I can go here. Or no, let's just simply drop back. Yeah, that dropping back is the best way. Have to be careful on all the light squares. The bishop is not pinned, so that's good. In fact, I think I'll put the bishop here. That would be a great spot for it. And we are still double attacking this, so yeah, maybe I'll threaten to capture here first. No, but if take, take, I still just have to be careful if somehow there's a back rank, but I mean the bishop is looking, not the queen right now, so. Yeah, I think capturing, trying to just capture this seems fine. Okay. Capture, take, take. He's able to take the bishop then. So that doesn't work. So let's just go here. And just try to trade. Threatening, check maybe. I need to make sure my king is going to be safe, so I probably should make an escape square here. Sacking, is that a thing? No, I don't think so. Sack here. Okay. I'm just going to make an escape square right away. That's guarded. And we just get a nice square to evade to if necessary. Wait, actually, maybe not, because then he might have a check or mate there. Okay, let's go here. Main issue is just going to be time right now. Okay, let's just go check. And probably just take here. Well, actually, no, never mind. He's looking at that. Can't go here. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to go back and attack this one. Maybe push here also to just kick his bishop away. I have to go like back to here or something. And it would open up checks here. So yeah, I think pushing here seems like a nice idea. This check would allow me to win the pawn, potentially, if we kick his bishop back first. Also a fork here. I am just still scared of his queen being so close here and the lack of squares potentially for my king. So I just, like, that's my only worry. If I could get the queens to be traded, that would be perfect. Although if I can take this pawn, that will alleviate some of my concern, because then there won't be this threat of like the queen coming in here and somehow checkmating, or maybe getting a perpetual check or something like that between here and here. Check here. Here. Well, we don't quite have a forced queen trade. Okay, let's just go check. Oh, he blocks. Okay, but yeah, I can just take. I could take this too, but this one is definitely more threatening. There's so many times when I forget that they can block and I think that the king has to move. Queen trade would be excellent right now. Where would he go instead though? Can't go here. He can't go here. He'd have to go all the way back to here. Oh, he takes. Okay. I want to go here right away. Okay, attacks that pawn. I guess it is a little tricky to actually advance. Yeah, let me go here. Then he attacks this one, then I push. Or I attack first. Do need to get my king active here. Attack, take, take, take. No, I can't allow that, so we gotta go here. Oh, okay, he goes to that way. But that's okay, because if he takes here, then I take. I think it's okay. Okay, can I guard his pawn from promoting while pushing mine? He goes here, and he's able to guard mine. Take, take. I think I should just push. Actually, it's kind of hard. I can never get this pawn. No, I think I can still win if we trade down. Okay, I think we just trade the pawns down. It just seems riskier to push. And okay, let's bring the king up. I need space here. This king's gonna come in pretty quickly. He can attack this pawn. Actually, yeah, maybe I push the pawn first. Push to here, keep things on dark squares. Okay, no, let's come up because he went up. Okay. And he's gonna be able to go over there. Alright, let's go here. Check. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Let's go here. If he pushes here, maybe I'll check. I'm not sure. But then I potentially hang this pawn. Actually, no, I just take if he goes there. Okay, this endgame still is a little bit tricky. Oh, I'm able to take... No, but the bishop... Let's go... Check. He takes... Alright, yeah, let's just go back to here. Actually, maybe here, because then I can save that pawn. Okay, now I can go check. Take, take. Okay, I'm just going to try the check. So it's an opposite colored bishops in game, which I think the people say normally is like a draw. Okay, check again. This pawn is not under threat anymore. We have the two connected pawns on the side, so maybe we can make those work. He's going to be chasing these down, though. Wait, actually, can't I just push? No, push he takes with the bishop. I might end up having to reroute this bishop here or down to here to guard this potentially weak pawn. Okay, I'm just going to push again. Push, comes down. Actually, that seems kind of bad. Here. Maybe better? No, I think down. I think coming down. I think I need to fight for, like, control of the center here. Maybe make space to push the pawns. Yeah, I do think the bishop coming down actually is good. I might want to do that on the next move. Because that cuts his king off with the pawn. And it also gives me the option of dropping back to guard there. Okay, his bishop moves. Yeah, I'm just going to play here. I guess he could push his pawn, but then I'll still just drop back. Maybe I should have pushed this pawn first. I don't know. I do have the option of checking with the pawn. Okay, he does push the pawn. So now let's go back to here. We guard that pawn. We do threaten to check here and send him backwards. Okay, we don't have the check. I think pushing could be good. Take. We're trying to just go out to the center. I'm going to try to go to the center and attack this guy. Okay, he has that check, but I think come here. Oh wait, he does have that. Okay, actually, just as he played it, I realized that he had that. Here, take. Does give me that pass pawn. Take. He's going to take that one. That might not be good. If he takes here and then takes there, I could take his pawn. Okay, I'm just going to try to go here. Because he's going to be on this diagonal. So that gives me here. Oh, he can still get back to guard it. Oh, I might have messed up. Wait, no, but I can go here right now. Okay, this is the plan. Then I can push here. He's going to be able to guard it, but I have my king. And I can use my bishop to block, but then he has this pawn, so I don't know actually. This is not great. Do I try to capture this pawn? Okay, this is on a light square, he can attack it. He's able to defend this pawn. But then I come up this way. Can't decide. Okay, I think I attack the pawn. I think we make him defend it. I did mess up by not seeing his bishop could drop back there when my king moved. Okay, he allows me to take. This might end up being drawn, for sure. He's going to try to push. I'm able to go here to block his promotion square, but he's just going to sack, and then I'm going to sack, and it's going to be... Yeah, this is definitely going to be a draw, I think. Unless I could... No, I can't block the bishop. Okay, go here. Could block this instead of sacking, but then he sacks, but then I only have a bishop, so yeah, it's definitely going to be a draw. Is there any way? No, I don't think so. We just have to promote. He takes, and then we just stay on this diagonal. So it's just a draw. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I definitely messed up a little right at the end there. I want to see when, at what point I messed up, because I don't know the exact moment. It might have been prior to when I blundered where his bishop could come back and win my pawn. But I'm not entirely sure, because it did feel pretty drawish at that point. I guess that's why they say that opposite colored bishops just tend to be drawn a lot. I haven't had too many times with these endgames, too much actual experience. Pull up the, okay, there's the game review. Looks like we both had almost the exact same accuracy, about 85%, 84.7, 85.1. So I think we both played pretty well. I had some misses though. I was winning for a while. I gotta see when I stopped winning, because I was feeling pretty good about my position. Okay, so e4 was best. So I did correctly remember that idea. But I don't know if it mattered too much, because I didn't really know like the ideal follow-up. Oh, it just wants the bishop, or the queen to guard the bishop. Yeah, that makes more sense. We prepare castling, activate the queen, and don't have to move the bishop back. That would have been better. We still have a decent advantage, 1.1 here, although it did not like c3. It preferred the bishop coming here, queen here. Oh, yeah, because then we take, yeah, that seems pretty good actually. 1.1 advantage. Did not go for that though. That was great. Oh yeah, I guess for that same idea, which I wasn't actually considering. Castling. It did want h4. Yeah, I think I spent way too long. Like, I should have tried to break the h file quicker. I was thinking of it a bunch, but I never actually like committed to it. It would have been a decent idea. It wants the knight to come in here, but doesn't that just lose a pawn? Knight takes. Or is there a fork after? Oh. He takes. Wait, what? Then the bishop sacrifices? I was thinking maybe this is a... Well, no, this fork doesn't work because this is guarded. So this he can just defend. What the heck kind of tactic is it coming up with here? Alright, that's brilliant. If he takes... Then I... Wait, what? This is crazy. Oh, I didn't realize. Then there's the discovered. Okay. I was like, we're just sacrificing every piece basically back to back. But yeah, no, I didn't notice that it actually baits him into the discovered attack. That's a pretty nice tactic. Yeah, if he takes there, then I sack here, because if he takes, then we get the discovered check. Okay. I would not have seen that in a very long time. Even if you put that in front of me as a puzzle, it would take like a super long time to figure it out, I think. From that starting position. Okay, yeah, I kind of regretted putting the knight here after doing it. I just couldn't come up with a better plan. I was thinking if I hop in here, maybe try to get rid of his bishop, but then it just felt very misplaced afterwards, and I couldn't go here because his knight was here on c4 guarding it. So yeah, the knight going to b3 was definitely not a good idea. We're still pretty even here. I have a slight advantage. We drop back. Didn't like going over. It prefers, again, the knight to come here. Which I did play that later. Okay, so it just wanted that move earlier. We drop back to defend. Okay, it wanted the pawn to just go all the way forward. I have no clue why. I think he would just take it here. Oh, never mind. He does, because the bishop is looking there. I was thinking that the bishop was down here. Still, though, that seems kind of like a crazy move. Okay, then it really liked the knight coming in there. We get rid of the useless knight. We open up a file. That was a mistake. And then, yeah, then we trade this knight off. He has so many weak pawns, and I have a +2 advantage. So I was feeling quite good about going into an endgame at this point. Now it's plus 2.8. Doubling up was good. All right, yeah, we're doing great here. So I need to pinpoint where I messed up, because I think at this point I was playing extremely well. Okay, rook down. It says good. It prefers the B pawn to come forward. B pawn to come forward. We go ahead and support everything. Maybe we support this and then use the, try to reroute the bishop somewhere. Like bishop, maybe even to here to attack this pawn. But I think eventually he'd be able to just defend it with another pawn. So I'm not sure. But we still have a nice advantage either way. And then this was dangerous here. I think he kind of sacked this pawn. I think maybe the idea was I would go here. Yeah, and then that's a blunder because of the check here, which I did realize. Oh, I was thinking he would take first, and then if I take, then he would go for that. But he could have just done it actually immediately because check. Oh wait, no, the bishop blocks. Wait, did I forget about the bishop blocking, or I can't remember what I was thinking. The bishop blocks, but then he just takes this anyway. And then my bishop is out of the game, and his pieces are all super active. Yeah, that looks terrible either way. So we kind of saw that, we avoided it. And then I got a little, like, I was super low on time getting down to a minute here, and I got a little confused, like, thinking that I was going to lose some material, but then I realized I can just simply drop back, and I'm still guarding the bishop. I didn't have to, like, move the rook to where it didn't guard the bishop. So yeah, we just dropped back, that was best. We trade. At this point, still great advantage. I was feeling quite good here. It did want to check immediately. I did hesitate because I wanted to kick the bishop first. So I pushed the pawn first. 3.6 advantage. Yeah, how did I mess up this advantage? I gotta figure this out exactly. 3 advantage. We take the pawn. We get the queen trade. 2.3. So the queen trade was not good for us. I didn't realize just how drawish opposite colored bishops are, even though I've heard of that. I still figured that with the multiple pawn advantage that I would definitely be fine. I mean, I still am. I still am winning, but it just made it. That was a mistake. Oh, so this is where we basically went to drawing when I pushed this. Big take here. And I thought about this for a while. I thought about pushing right here, but then I think it seemed way too dangerous. Okay, no, it was best, but we're basically drawn anyway. Because he controls this square, so it's going to be really hard for me to ever push the pawn forward and the bishop's here. And now he's only a couple squares away. I'm going to go here to try to cut him off. And it's going to get very tricky. Also, his king is like 1 square more activated than mine, which can make a big difference in this kind of position, I think. So, yeah, it was really tricky to decide what to do, but apparently I gave away all my advantage with just... Okay, we had... What was it? Trading the queens, we had a 3.0. We traded the queens, we're down to 2.1 advantage. And then here we go from 2.0 to 0.5. We're basically close to drawn here to 0.3. King comes up, that's best. We got a little bit in this weird position where the king was kind of tucked against the wall. That was best. Although it did want me to capture with the other pawn, but then this one was just going to be kind of targeted, so I was avoiding that. But this was still fine. It says excellent. Yeah, we were just drawn here. I mean, at this point, we were just drawn. And then I missed this, that he could check me and then win that pawn. So that was kind of a blunder, but it didn't matter because we were still drawn. I went for this idea, but then we both end up just sacking the bishops for each other's pawns, and there's nothing you can do beyond that. Which I think I started to realize pretty quickly here that this was going to be drawn. I think at, yeah, I think at this point, like, I knew it was going to be drawn. Because I could tell that I could sack for his pawn, and that he could sack for my pawn. And that the kings can't really do anything to help. Okay, so yeah, pretty straightforward once we got down to just one pawn and one bishop each. So let me go back again to where I actually messed up, because that's the part I want to actually learn from. So what was I supposed to play here? I didn't want the queen trade because I think just trading down into the opposite colored bishop in-game makes it a lot easier to end up drawing, even though I still was winning after the queen trade. But I was just worried about his queen, so I figured it made sense. But what if I just captured like this? No, but then he takes this one. Oh, never mind. I'm just hanging the queen. What am I talking about? What should I have played here then? I mean, how could I not just take this pawn? I could take this pawn, but this one is a lot more threatening. Okay, if I take this one, that's a mistake, yeah. Because then there's perpetual check here. Check, up, check here, down, check, and I can never block it. So I was worried about the queen getting too far away to block any kind of checks, and I saw the potential for the perpetual check on these two squares here with the queen bouncing back and forth. So I was a little concerned about that. So I think it's hard to find the right move. What did it say the right move was here? Taking isn't the right move. Just going back is the right move. Going back, and then I guess I'm attacking this pawn. Okay. I guess I could have done that if I knew that I wanted to avoid the opposite colored bishops. Maybe I wouldn't have taken this, but I think I probably still would. I think if I played the same game, I would still take this and trade down, and then just try to learn from the last part. So let's jump to the last part. We trade the queens. Still winning. He immediately attacks the pawn. It wants me to go 2 forward, but then he attacks this one, and I can't even push it. I guess I go here? No. It's hard to find the right move. See, that's the thing. How do I even find the right move? I go here. We sack this pawn and this pawn at the same time. So yeah, it's tricky to actually execute on converting this advantage, because you have to find some weird moves. And I mean, this pawn's going to be really close to promoting, so I'm kind of like, that's why I would be very reluctant to do this. I guess I am going to potentially have this path forward, but also he can take here and then it cuts off the square, so I'm still not quite seeing how you convert this yet, even though it's showing me some of the moves. So if he takes here, then I take here. 3.6 advantage. He blocks. And then, again, his king is closer. If my king was a couple squares further, I would feel very confident to convert this. But with his king closer, I don't feel so confident with it. He wants the bishop back. What about just king up, though? Okay, king up is still best. Attack this pawn. I don't know what that does because it's defended. Okay, I don't think he would just move his bishop around. I think he would definitely get his king involved, so let's play that. And then coming up, the problem is you get checked and then you go back. So it wants me to just go back to start. We go back, we hit the bishop. Okay, bishop moves, then we come here. Okay, it wants me to move my bishop, but I want my king up in the game. His bishop, oh yeah, and then he can attack this, but I can just, if I push, he takes this one. So I have to go back. How do you convert this? He's able to attack stuff so easily that I keep having to go back. Okay, we go back. Maybe I just need to move all the pawns to dark squares first. Okay, the bishop, let's say I'm not going to bring the bishop back. Actually, I guess it does make sense because then I can put the pawn on the dark square. So bishop back. Okay, his king comes down. I would be worried about this. His king is getting way more active than mine. But it would seem that we're fine. And then I think I would have gone for this because I'm preparing to put the pawns on the dark squares so they can't be attacked. And then my king can be used to come in. Okay, so his king goes up here. He's going to maybe attack those pawns. And then what if I just go here? Get my pawns in the dark squares. Still have an advantage. I want to just figure out, as long as even if I don't play the best moves, as long as I can play this, find moves that maintain my advantage, then I'm happy with that. me. Let's say maybe he attacks this pawn. It actually wants me to just attack the bishop first. I think I probably would defend it. I can't defend it like this because then he comes in here. So I have to defend it like this. It doesn't like that. Oh yeah, because... Oh, that's pretty bad actually. Because then the bishop has to move again. Okay. Where can his king go? Maybe he goes back here to attack. But yeah, how do we avoid just repeating moves here? I guess I just check. It wants me to sack the pawn by pushing. Honestly, this endgame is way harder to convert than I expected, because even when I'm seeing all the moves, they're not very intuitive. Like, I'm having to make a lot of weird moves and sack pawns and stuff like that just to convert this 2-pawn advantage. And also not activate my king when I would have expected that would be the best way to go. But it wanted me to keep my king back. His is able to get super active, and I have to play these other pawn moves before I can do anything. Okay, so his bishop comes back. Now he attacks this. Again, I just come up. So I guess we're just letting him take everything over here and using that as like an initiative. What if I come up into here? I mean, it wants the bishop here to attack. I guess that is a pretty easy to find move, because he can't push the pawn or I just take. Okay, now we're just completely winning. Now we're fine. And if he doesn't... Okay, so yeah, if I got to this point and found this move, it would be really effective. If he doesn't push, let's say he, I don't know, attacks this pawn. Then I take. He takes. We still have massive advantage. I take this. Now we're completely winning. So, but what was the key principle of the moves that got us here? We postponed our king activity, and we focused on safeguarding the pawns while sacking some of the pawns, safeguarding these ones, and waiting until we could get his king moved away, and then we could... I guess the trick was that we pushed this pawn here, got this pawn here and this pawn here, so that we had this defended pawn chain controlling g6, and then we get the bishop to where it attacks g7, and he can't push g6, otherwise we just take. And he has nothing that can defend those pawns, because his only thing that can defend it is the king, and the king ran all the way down here. But to find that in the game seems kind of tricky, but maybe I can remember this kind of concept in a similar bishop endgame. Maybe I just shouldn't have traded the queens, because if I didn't trade the queens, we wouldn't be having so much trouble converting this. So, yeah. Really interesting, though. I might need to actually look more into these kind of endgames, because I don't know if I've ever had this opposite colored bishop endgame in a rapid game like this before, even though I've heard about them and how they tend to be drawish. I've heard people throw that around. And now I've learned from experience that that actually is true. So yeah, maybe I need to learn a little bit more about these, and maybe next time not even trade the queens, because even with being up 2 pawns, it was very difficult to find the right moves to convert it. But we're still above 1300 at 1302 right now, and I do think that was a really interesting game, and I think that we did play pretty well. We both had good accuracy. So yeah, this has been day 128. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on day 129.